CNN's new reporting is that President Trump has a detailed plan that has been actually in the works for weeks to send the National Guard into Chicago. As the former mayor of the Windy City, what's your reaction?
Well, first, I think everybody should take a step back and realize that as a commander-in-chief over his 2 terms, he has only deployed and put boots on the ground in American cities, never overseas. And just think about what that means as a country. Second, he gave his speech in Iowa, he said, "I hate Democrats," and this may be the reflection of that. I think the core issue here is, look, crime is coming down, specifically violence, but there's a persistent problem, which is carjacking. In fact, the Doge individual in D.C. was a victim of an attempted carjacking. There's technology actually to deal with that problem. It hasn't dropped as much as homicides and shootings. And that's where the federal government can work with cities and work with mayors and work with county officials to actually reduce carjackings, which are the bigger problem in cities and the persistent problem in that area. And lastly, I think, look, the attack here is also in the area of prosecutions. And the U.S. attorney's offices across the country should get back to prosecuting gun crimes in cities across the country and states across the country, unlike what's happening in D.C. And Democrats' answer isn't, here's the law, or this is unprecedented, which is true. We have a strategy for fighting crime. More police on the beat and getting kids, gangs, and guns off the street. And that is the strategy, and that's what has to be done. And in this area, you can actually do it with carjackings.
Is this going to be a flashpoint in Chicago? How do you think people are going to react?
Well, it depends on, it'd be interesting. Is he going to try to put National Guard around Michigan Avenue or downtown? Or is he going to go into Englewood or other parts of the city that do have a crime problem and do have to be approached? And my guess is when you look at what he did in D.C., he's not going to actually deal with crime. This is an attempt to get the goods through customs. This is an attempt to deal with cities that are welcoming cities, known as sanctuary cities, and deal with immigration. This will not be about fighting crime.
If you were
and when he said in that video that somehow that Chicago is a mess, well, compared to a White House that uses signal chat to do national security, it's not a mess.
If you were still mayor, how would you handle it?
Well, I would say work with us on public safety. Here are the 5 things you could do. Technology to deal with carjackings, prosecuting gangs and gun violence in the city, working on the issues of drugs and guns coming into the city, and helping coordinate task force that deal with confronting gangs throughout the city. Those are the things that I would say, right now, partner with us. Don't try to come in and act like we can be an occupied city.